To 3.131 subsection 5 of pretrial release, hearing of first appearance, conditions of release, all information provided by a defendant in connection with any application for or attempt to secure bail to any court personnel, or individual soliciting or recording such information for the purpose of evaluating eligibility for or securing bail for the defendant under circumstances such that the defendant knew or should have known that the information was to be used in connection with an application for bail shall be accurate, truthful, and complete without omissions to the best knowledge of the defendant. Failure to comply with the provision of this subdivision may result in the revocation or modification of bail. However, no defendant should be compelled or shall be compelled to provide information regarding his or her criminal record. In this particular situation, as I stated, I'm surprised that the state did not file what I thought they were going to file, but I assume they can file it in the future if they deem to be necessary as far as what actions they're going to proceed against Ms. Zimmerman in this particular situation, because there's no doubt in the court's mind that she's aware of what transpired and what happened. The dates of the jail conversation precede that of the bond hearing. Is that correct, State?
Yes, Your Honor.
By how many days?
There was several of them prior to that. We have them on April 16th, on April the 12th, on April the 17th, on April the 15th.
They were well aware of the money that was available, well aware of the amounts that were in controversy here as far as large amounts. Mr. Zimmerman can't sit back, as I used, again, the euphemism of potted palm, and let his wife testify falsely before the court when he knew well in advance of that hearing the amounts of money in controversy, nor can he allow his attorney to stand up and make misrepresentations, not by your fault whatsoever, Mr. O'Mara. You were completely candid and honest with the court, as you've always been. And he can't sit back and obtain the benefit of a lower bond or circumstances based upon those material falsehoods. That's what they were. So at this time, revoke his bond, place him in no bond status.
Hey everyone. So you guys just heard what the Florida judge said about revoking George Zimmerman's bail bond. So if he engaged in material falsehoods about his finances, what else would you guess he's engaging in falsehoods about? What else is he lying about? Is he lying about the self-defense? He certainly lied about his black eyes. I mean, even with the photos that were released from their side, they did not show black eyes. So there's a lot of falsities, falsehoods, if you will, from the Zimmerman camp. And if his wife was willing to lie to the court about his finances, why wouldn't his whole family be willing to lie about the circumstances surrounding the Trayvon Martin murder? After all, wasn't it the father who said that George was attacked by Trayvon Martin? And wasn't George's brother also defending him? Trying to make him out to be innocent? George Zimmerman will do anything and everything to, one, stay out of jail, and two, convince everybody, or as many people as he can, that he was the one under attack that night. I don't trust anything coming out of the mouths of those people, and that includes his defense. I'm so glad he was caught in this lie. I'm going to read through this article and see if I can find out how exactly they knew, how this information came about. I'm not really sure, but let me see and try to figure this out. It says Assistant State Attorney Bernie de la Rianda said Zimmerman's wife Shelley led the court to believe they were penniless, which he called a blatant lie. De la Rianda said the Zimmermans spoke in code about moving finances around during telephone calls while Zimmerman was in custody. The state also alleged Zimmerman held a second passport after surrendering one to the court when bail was granted. He was already prepared with a second passport. What does that tell you? Now, keep in mind, I don't understand why the court has this information about the character of this man, and yet they don't immediately have him turn himself in. Instead, they gave him 48 hours. Do you understand how far someone can get in 48 hours? From where he lives in Florida to get to Mexico is probably a 10-hour drive or a 2-hour flight. From where he lives in Florida, and I don't know that he is in Florida. He may be somewhere else. To get to Europe is, depending on where he's going, a 12 to 14-hour flight. He has time. The article goes on to say that the revocation motion was filed as a hearing opened on the confidentiality of evidence in the case, including Zimmerman's statement to police. A consortium of more than a dozen media groups is asking the judge not to seal records in the case. Prosecutors and Zimmerman's attorney fear witnesses will be harassed if their names are publicized. There's also another video of Zimmerman's attorney stating that he hopes that this revocation is temporary. But I believe in the first video, the judge made it very clear that he was going to be retained without bond. So I cannot see where he's going to be getting out of jail, at least not until we see what happens with this trial. But these are some shady people who will misrepresent the truth in order to assist George Zimmerman in evading prison. Hey everyone. I just wanted to say a short hello to everybody, especially my new subscribers. And I don't have a lot to say, but I just kind of wanted to end this particular video with a hello.